think I just found our hunt machine. Because it doesn't seem to have like a certain... it's got unlimited ammo, looks like. I just dropped it. What is up, everybody? It's Bloodstalker, and we're back with another little, I guess, a review of a game, new early access game that came out on November 11th. I'm talking, of course, about Badiya. This just came out, hit the store on November 11th. It was green-lighted for early access. Again, this is early access survival game, so it already hit me. One, it's indie, early access, survival. So, yeah, sure, I'll try it out. $17.99 in the store, on the Steam store right now. It's currently got one game mode, Sandbox, but it does support story mode, co-op, and multiplayer on down the line. It's kind of like how they're doing with Subsistence. They're developing that on down the line. You've got character creation. You can make an avatar. You've got different races, different starter kits you go out with. What I've noticed is, so far, I've played two of them. I've played the Bandit, and I've played the Explorer. They started with the same stuff. So you have different ethnicities. I can't say that word. You can be an Arabian, European, Asian, or African, or whatnot. You got different face characters. There's not a whole lot in the customization, but they do have some. So it's pretty cool in that aspect. You can change your height, your weight, your eye color, your skin tone, your facial hair, and your face structure. Pretty much the face structure is the same for all the ethnicities, all the ethnics. So the game in itself, though, I played probably about an hour and a half of it so far. I started one world just to kind of play test it, get an idea. I was going to start recording, and I was like, no, I need to start over because I kind of screwed up. The controls take a little bit of getting used to. It's the traditional WASD movement. Your mouse, it's shot pretty much all in third person. You don't get to go into first person at all in that aspect, but it's kind of cool that way. It does make shooting things wonky, though. That's one thing I don't like about third person. I prefer the first person in a shooter where you're having to shoot things. I haven't ran anything aggressive. I have got to shoot animals in the game. There's a plethora of animals. They've got sheep. They've got cats in the desert, which from history, Egyptians, they had cats. It's just weird. I ran into a black cat, and that boggles me. A black cat in the desert, that sucker's got to be ready to catch on fire at any moment. But I'm not going to get off the subject. As far as early access game goes, it's not too bad. It does kind of lack some things in it that probably are critical before you kind of greenlight it for release. It's got a jump key, but you can't jump. It's got stairs, steps, and ladders that you can't climb or get up on. There's some wonkiness in that kind of mechanics as well. However, it does have vehicles in the game. It has horse riding. It has craftable. It has a craft menu. You can make guns. You can craft all this sort of stuff. The cost for crafting things, though, is kind of different too. To craft, like, say, a rifle, you need, or a barrel for a rifle, you need 3 scrap metal. To craft a lockpick, you need, I think, 10, which is kind of weird, or 5 or something like that. You need, it's not balanced. I mean, a rifle barrel takes 3 scrap metal. A lockpick, which is the size of a toothpick, takes 10. So, again, it's just little things like that I kind of harp on. Is this a game I would buy? Well, honestly, if I'm a casual gamer and I like playing games and I like being able to start a game and play it, and not necessarily finish it because it's early access, but at least do something inside the game and be able to come back to it, then no, it's not for you. I can honestly tell you that. Starting and stopping in the game, you lose your horse, you lose your ride. So if you quit out in the desert and come back in, you're going to be out in the desert without a ride. It's just not going to be there as of right now. But again, as I say this, keep in mind this is an early access game. Um, it's going to be getting updated, and they have a lot more. They have a pretty large development staff. It's a new company that, like Sephora, as you saw in the intro for it. I think what they've got is a very. I'm trying to think of the right word for it. It's a very aggressive attempt at creating a game. Um, I think the core idea is out there. I think they have that. I think they have the mechanics and everything else down. I think they need to fine tune a lot of things in the game. I'm not going to lie. Um, I don't think you can shoot. The aiming mechanic is one of them. If you aim dead center on something, you're not going to hit it. You have to aim to the left of it and probably by about a hair or two. And I mean, that's pretty big. I literally walked right up on a sheep and shot it, and I missed. And I'm point blank. I moved the gun over to like the very far edge of the sheep, and I hit him dead center. So it's about the width of a sheep on here at point blank. So, you know, it's kind of weird. You can't kill anything in town either. Like in this little village I found. They do have like a trading system, have an economy system. They have crates that you can search through. And again, I mentioned lockpicks earlier. Some of the crates are locked, some are not. They've got villages in there. They've got towns. They've got all sorts of stuff. And it's pretty cool in that aspect because this is procedurally generated with NPCs. Now, this isn't your traditional type of survival game that we talk about, that we all play. This is actually like an RPG survival. They're going to have a story. I mean, like I talked about, they have a story mode. This game's going to have a beginning and end to an extent. It's going to have, you can just play sandbox and screw around, or you can actually go through, do quests, you can do missions. I mean, there's a whole plethora of stuff that this game's going to become. Now, that's why I bring this up. Is it too aggressive of an attempt for this game? I don't know. I don't know anything about the development. This is, I think, their second project they've done, or first really big project, and like their second project overall. The first one being something small, I guess. But I would keep this. My suggestion is to put this on your wish list in Steam. That way you don't forget about it and keep an eye on it. I think probably in a couple of months, maybe look at it again and see what kind of updates they've done. I played a lot. I mean, in my library right now, I've probably got about 10 early access games or more. And these games compile of Rust, of course, Ark, which is still early access, Subsistence, which I've been playing a lot of. I've got a game called Kingdoms, Osiris, things like that. I've got a ton of games that are still in the beginning stages of being developed. And out of all the games I've played, this one probably fits out of a 10 out of 5 as far as the early access game. I would put it probably about a 5 or 6. Kingdom, when I first started playing it, by far was probably a 2. But now they've done so much more to it, and it's actually getting viable and pretty fun. I haven't played it since all the updates. Subnautica is another early access game I played, and Subnautica has really come a long way too. So in terms of, are they supporting it? Are they going to support it? That's the questions, and that's a test of time. We all know the early access games that it seems like the developers disappeared off the face of the earth. You know, games like Rust, you know face punches all out there. I mean, they are all over the game. They constantly been doing updates. Every 2 weeks they do an update. Every week lately, it seems like. I mean, Face Punch initially took their core game that they had for it and scrapped it and made a whole new game. And so you go back and you look at that in that aspect with early access games, and, you know, would this happen with this game? I don't know. What Face Punch did with Rust was, I mean, they took in a sense they took the core of the game, but they basically initially made a whole new game, which I couldn't believe they did that. But it turned out for the best. I mean, what Rust Legacy, as we call it now, was compared to what Rust is now is a lot. Rust now is a lot better game, and they've gone through their issues with the fine tuning of the XP system, the blueprint system, now components. So they listen to the people. They try to make efforts to balance the game and make it more fun. But it's still, Ark and Rust are probably two of the top early access games out there right now. Now, when you compare this game to a finished game, say like No Man's Sky, which I'm going to use No Man's Sky probably as the biggest example of a fully finished game that probably should have never went fully finished. Why that happened, I don't know. I mean, No Man's Sky is a fun game. I have enjoyed all I've probably got about 60 or 70 hours in it. I've enjoyed everything I've done with it. I quit doing videos on it just for all the hate that it gets. People don't care anymore. I mean, there are probably select few people out there that do like it, but most of the people got their refunds. I didn't get a refund from Steam. I still got the game. And I'm that sad sap that now that they're not going to be putting out any additional content for the game because they've disappeared and went MIA, I'm going to be bitter about it. But I'll still play the game. It's fun. Was it worth $59.99? Hell no, it wasn't worth $59.99. I'm still butthurt about that. Let's just be honest. But back to Badiya. I watched the video on it, and it's a good trailer for it. I watched PC Gamer do an interview with the guy one of the head creators of it, and it just seems interesting. He's very invested in it. What caught my attention was that it's a Middle Eastern survival game. It's actually set in a real area, a region of the world, and it's tied to real life things in that aspect. And they tout it's from like 1920s World War One era type stuff. And then you've got things like references to Lawrence of Arabia and things like that. I mean, it kind of reminds me almost cross between Indiana Jones and like that. I think it's going to be fun. I think they got a lot of work ahead of them, though. I'm not going to lie. I really think there's a lot of work ahead of them. I think you guys looking at the video and make your decision on that. But personally, for me, I would just put it on the wish list for right now. But if you are the type of person that likes to be on the beginning stages of a game like this, and you're okay with those type of wonky things, you want to get the game now, and you want to play when as the updates come out. By all means, then get the game because it's going to be good. I'm not sorry I bought the game. Don't take it like that. I'm just kind of speaking from an aspect of, with all the early access games I've played, this one is in the middle of them. My top early access games that I played of Rust, Ark, Subsistence now, I put Subsistence up there pretty high. One, because one person developed that game, and they've done a wonderful job in that aspect, and how far it's come. Even since I've started playing the game, there's been huge things done to the game, so that's pretty amazing in itself. I mean, I like the balancing they've done. I like the new water well they've added. Is there more work to need to be done on it? By all means, there is, but it's cool to see be part of that. I enjoy it. Games like these, this is what the market's come to. With the introduction of allowing early access games and game previews, as they call them, on the Xbox system, I think it's awesome. It gives people opportunity to get their game out there and test it. For those of us my age and a little bit older, we remember the days of when you bought a game, you bought a game. That's the way it was. There were no updates. There were no downloadable patches. There were nothing like that. I mean, we can all talk about some of the games we played in our lives that you would get so far in the game and all of a sudden it was broken, and they didn't catch it in time and it got sold anyway. Didn't happen a lot, but it did happen. I think Fallout New Vegas was was a game. You were able to get an update and a patch for it though, but there was a pretty bad bug in that back in the day. For the life of me, I can't remember what it was, but it had to do with saving and it'd mess up a lot of crap. But in the advent of something's wrong with the game, we can get on it, fix it, put it out there. I have a problem if I buy a fully released brand new game, I spend $59 for it, and I'm playing it, and there's bugs in it, and it's out there. And they have to, you have to really wait a couple days after the game come out to get the patches for it. I have a problem with that because that's just crappy. You shouldn't be putting a product out there that's not ready. No Man's Sky had tons of updates to it constantly when it first came out. I would say that it had more updates. No, I'm not going to say that. It had just as many updates as some early access games that came out, and they were better. They performed better. Those patches were just to fix little bitty things. So to me, a game like this and other games, these are the forefront of it. Gives you an opportunity to get a reasonably priced game, play with it, and that way if you don't like it, you're not out a lot of money. But plus, it's going to get better eventually. I mean, for those of us who've played Ark since the beginning, we remember what Ark used to be like when it first came out. I mean, I remember Ark had some issues in the beginning. It used to be a big issue with falling through foundations and falling through the world when you got off of a server. Things like that. And so I look at this game and I look at all the other games out there, and this is the funniest part. This is where look. I aim right on the chicken, And the shooting kind of sucks too, because I'd fire and it wouldn't fire. I don't know if that was because I was in the town or not, or what. But I'm aimed right on the chicken, and then he walks away, and I fired well before that. I mean, that's what I didn't understand. And then I come up to the sheep up here, and that's the part where it just gets out of hand. So there's some buggy and wonky stuff in this game. But what this leads into, and what my full rant about this is, and then I'm probably going to speed up a little bit of this footage here. But you know, overall, games like this are what the forefront. Look at this. This is just I'm shooting sand. I'm not hitting him. I'm right on him. So I get right up on the dude. Watch this. This is what's crazy about it. I just get kind of from like, what the hell? I think I gave up. It was something else I did that too. Oh, it was an iguana. That's what it was. Anyway, I do like the horse mechanics. The horse riding is pretty good. Changing from zone to zone, like say you leave one zone of the map and load in another zone, there's a little blur, and you kind of get displaced from where you're at. It's kind of weird. The sound issue on the horse. You may have your sounds all the way down, but the horse is still loud as hell, and that's one reason why I'm talking over this. I didn't record I'm not going to play me commentating it while I'm playing the game, because it's just so unbearable. The horse neighing. Oh my God! And then when I get in the tank, which I'll show you that next. When I get up into the tank, you know, this is pretty cool though. As you move around the map, you can discover new things on it. In this, I found a village, an airstrip. Since I've been playing this game, I'll say that. I found a Bedouin village, I found a village, I found the airstrip, and I found ruins, ancient ruins, which had a stone sarcophagus in it that required lockpicks, which that does not make sense whatsoever. I recommend that you go walking around the map or the area and pick up stuff versus try to harvest it yourself. I use my hunting knife to try to harvest a tree, and you can do it, but it tears your knife up. And there's no mechanic built in the game to be able to repair things that I've seen yet. Now, there probably is. I just didn't get that far into the game, so I'm not going to bash that part of it. It is cool, though, as you search around. Now, when I found this airstrip, there's 2 vehicles, there's 2 armored personnels, and then there's a tank. And I pick up some tires and things like that, fuel here. So it's in this aspect, this game reminds me a lot like Miscreated, DayZ standalone, in that aspect of, you know, you got to have parts for the vehicles to repair them and stuff if they get damaged. I made the mistake of opting for the tank because, one, I figured due to the terrain it'd be easier. I probably, in hindsight, probably should have went with armored personnel. And the reason I say that is because, again, about the sound. When you get in the tank, it is loud as hell. And I left the volume on the clip at the front so you could kind of hear that too. But, you know, those are little things that can be fixed and will be fixed over time. But there's still, man, making this for a recordable game, I just can't do it. I wouldn't be able to do something on this anytime soon. But here's your crafting menu. You can I made an axe. You go from a stone, this is what was funny though, to a metal wrench. An axe to a metal wrench. I mean, that's kind of crazy. And this is kind of where we look at the inventory stuff. I like the inventory style. I don't like having to go to your inventory to equip something. If you get on and off something, you de-equip it, so you have to re-equip it each time. So if there's any fighting in this, it's going to be hard in that aspect. So it's kind of realistic, I guess, but I do like at least hot barring. Like if I have a sidearm and a holster for it, I should be able to hit that button, that number, and go right to that weapon, in my opinion. The clipping and stuff, as you can see, I'm walking through this and I'm clipping against something, so it almost seems like it's voxel. I don't think this is a voxel creation. I don't know what engine this is on. I need to really look into that a little bit more, but there's an issue. I believe there's an issue with hitboxes on these things, and that's why when I tried to kill the iguana at the ancient ruins, it did that. So I didn't want to make a huge long video. I did want to show you a little bit of the tank. And here's another part of the no clipping too. I pick up the tire and then I walk right through. I walk around it on purpose, thinking I need to try to climb up the ladder. So I walk around it, walk to the ladder, and I walk right through it. So there's a lot of stuff that's not finished, and that's why I give it a 5 to 6, because if you're going to put this out there for early access, you should have some of this stuff interactable to really get a good testing feel for it. This should still be closed alpha if that's the case. And that's what kind of that the decision to go ahead and greenlight this for release. That kind of that bugs me. That bothers me right there. Is like, is this ready for greenlight for full early access to everybody? And personally, I don't really think it is. I do like there is a lot of stuff that does work. And as you can tell, like this. Now, I think this is just temporarily, but you can't. I couldn't hear the machine gun fire when I fired it. Again, I had to max my sound out to be able to hear anything else because it seemed like everything went mute after I had to restart my game from the first time. But the gun on here, the machine gun on here, was unlimited. I didn't have any ammo. I just could shoot whatever I want as long as I want. So that's got to be a broken mechanic, in my opinion. And then that right there, where I shot the bunny, and he just like stretched Armstrong across the map. When I thought I was playing with the Incredibles for a minute, Elastigirl showed up. So I don't know. I thought this too. It's just like, and that reminds me of DayZ standalone and like Miss Crate. You get out of a vehicle while it's moving, and it just keeps moving. So, and I went to harvest this guy, and I had to equip my knife. So this is what you have to go through to do all this stuff. So there's a lot of time-consuming things that could be made easier. I don't know if they're left like that for realism or if it's just stuff they haven't tweaked yet. But I do like the blood splatter on you. It's just like subsistence. That kind of gives that realism. But that doesn't look like fur to me. That is fur, but that's not what that looks like. It looks like it's bunny poo. So I don't know what's up with that. I don't know how you cook. There's no campfire. There's no way to craft a campfire in this game that I could find yet. So there's a lot to the game. I do enjoy it. I think it's going to have potential for it. And again, goes back to on the decision of why you buy early access games. Do you buy them because you like to play them and like have you like to continue to play them over and over and keep a running game going? This is not a game to do this with, in my opinion, right now. Will it get to that? It should. I don't know how long it's going to be. I would probably like I said, I'd add it to your wish list and keep an eye on it. But I think this is going to be a game that's going to be pretty fun to play once it gets going. It's going to be a lot like that Miscreated and that DayZ Survivor type game. Just no zombies running around. And I kind of dig that. Because no offense, and I don't want to upset anybody out there in the survival genre, I'm tired of zombie games. I've never liked zombie games. I used to be big into werewolves and vampires when I was younger. There wasn't a lot of movies about them. And then all of a sudden Twilight came out, and that just ruined it for me. I still like werewolves and stuff, but then, thank God for Underworld movies, because that just kind of saved the whole genre of that crap. And, but zombie stuff is just, I love The Walking Dead. That is an awesome show, but that's not, to me, that's why I like The Walking Dead, because there's a really awesome story to it. When it boils down to it all and everything, I'm not a big fan of Twilight. I'm not a big fan of all the zombie games. Resident Evil did it, and they keep making movies, so help me God, I don't know why. But Resident Evil started not the vampire, sorry. They started the whole zombie thing, and now you've got all sorts of zombie survival games. I think they're cool, but there's just a way overkill of it. And even Rust started out as a zombie survival game, and they finally took that shit out. That was like the best. If you can sit there and say that I played Rust and Zombies, that means something, because that's back in the beginning days. That's a long time ago. And that was the best decision they ever did. And it's funny because there's still jokes about it to this day on Rust. Get it anytime. Yep, good thing we don't have zombies anymore. And it became a thing. So, but that's all I got for you guys on this. I thought it was pretty cool getting to drive around the tank. It does handle pretty well. It's slow as dirt, though. Oh my God, that horse was so much faster. It's louder than hell. That's my biggest issues, the sound issues. I had to literally turn my headset down as low as possible to be able to play it. Let alone like I said, you guys hear it in the beginning of it how loud it is. And that's why I'm talking over this game. So, if you guys got any comments or questions about the game, by all means leave them. Ask questions about the game. If there's something you want to know about that I didn't cover, just ask away. I'm going to keep doing stuff on this, not consistently, but as they do updates, because I want to see where they go with this, because I'm really curious. I would encourage you guys to do the same thing as far as putting it on the wish list and just kind of periodically checking it and see how it goes. You never know. This could turn out to be one of the best games ever. I mean, you never know how things go. I mean, it's easily could happen. Ark has turned. Look at Ark and Rust, and I mean, other games. Subnautica's gotten big. There's a lot of early access games that have become really good and really awesome and done really good for the community. So, but as always, that's all I've got for you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying the content on the channel. I hope you guys are enjoying everything we've been doing. I've been trying to mix it up. I've got some good news. I did an Ark video earlier before I started working on editing this video. We've got our server back up. We're still going through testing on it, so there's some even after I recorded the video, some things have changed. I've talked to Chuck. So, but once we get everything fine-tuned and up there, we're going to open it up to whoever wants to join the server. It's going to be a PvE, PvP world. So, well, I mean, it's going to be 2 maps. Right now it's Center and Scorched. We're probably going to replace Scorched with Volcano as a mod map. And the reason being is because I like Scorched Earth, but I don't like all of Scorched Earth all the time. And if we're doing PvP, I really don't want to deal with that. Sandstorms and crap? No, I'm good. So, but I can't thank you guys enough. You guys have been really active on the channel. You've been really just comments galore. I really appreciate you guys and the support you've been given. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to all the other subscribers on the channel too. They love the interaction and stuff. I met a lot of cool people in the last couple of weeks, especially with doing the subsistence video. I met a really cool guy, Just Trenton, who's been part of the group now, and he issued that challenge for the sneaking up on the hunter, and that was kind of fun. So if you guys have got something you want to see me do or try on a game or whatnot, let me know. Throw the idea out there. I'm not going to say I'm going to try every one of them because I kind of think I bit off more than I can chew with this one challenge, but I do like the interaction between us. I mean, I do this for you guys, and I do it for me as well because I enjoy making videos, and I do enjoy trying to get into YouTube. So this is kind of like a long video, so I'm going to cut it off here. So as always, if you want to support the channel, just like the video, subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed. Tell your friends and family about it if you think they'd enjoy it. Just share it with everybody else. That's the best way you can support the channel. I don't do donations or anything like that. I don't need you guys to donate anything like that. Only thing I ask of you guys to do is just, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. That's about all I can ask. So, as always, I've been Bloodstalker 101. This has been Badiya, new early access Steam game. And don't forget to say it, but peace out, y'all.